The nice thing about coming into Cruiseport Marina in Ensenada is that the people really help you to do the clearing in. They fill out your papers and they come with you. In fact, they take you there to get it done, which is great. Okay, so here we are clearing into Mexico. Everything in one spot. Immigration and health. A lot of people came by with open boxes to make customs declarations for things being sent overseas. And even the bank is here, so very easy to make payments. Well, we're getting a few jobs done, despite the fact that I seem to have a pretty bad cold. I'm coughing a lot, but I did a COVID test and it's coming out negative, so hopefully it is just a bad cold. Means that my sleep at night is a bit disturbed, but anyway, we just slept in this morning. So here I am getting a gasket to go behind the new Lopalite port light fitting that I'm replacing. I also managed to get this wooden cover over the wires coming from the mast base into the boat, so that's been waiting to get finished. A little job, but nice one to get it done. Another job that's on today's list is to replace the LED that was here that I put in place in the main cabin to match in with those with a slightly different one. So that's a simple little wiring job, so hopefully I'll get that done. So we're looking forward to getting quite a few things done today. Never throw your old toothbrushes away. They are so useful for polishing, de-rusting screws and awkward items. So I never, I've got so many old toothbrushes and they can just get chucked and you go on to the next one, but they're so useful. So I'm going to dip these two screws into the lana coat so that when they go, being stainless steel, when they go into the aluminium Lopalite fitting for my port nav light that I'm replacing, there'll be a bit of anti-corrosion effect, hopefully, stopping the metals from touching too well. It's the best we can do. The lana coat is pretty sturdy stuff, pretty thick stuff, so I'm just twisting the screws in the tub with a screwdriver, so it does the trick. It gets a bit of a coating to try and separate the two metals. A bit sticky, but hopefully they'll do the job if I can get them in place without getting totally gummed up. Here's the replacement Lopalite fitting that I'm using for my port nav light, and so I've made a gasket to go on the back side here. And I've got those screws ready for going into the holes here, being aluminium, and the screws of course are stainless steel. That's why I've had to try to protect them if I can. And then the wire that comes out, I'm just going to have to bend it up, and that's why I need the spacer basically. And now what I have to do is to get the end of the wire, expose it. So I've got some wire strands, and then I'll do the same on the old cable and pull this one through, ready to fix the light in place. So that's my next job, is to strip the outer off the cable here to expose the thinner wires inside. So a little bit of cutting, and now we've got the outer of the cable off, and we can see the two fine wires inside, along with some other bits and pieces which obviously had to be cut off, so just the wires were there. Here we are with just the two wires now. I'll put those together, form a loop, and do the same on the other wire, and then that way I can tape over it and pull it through. So here we've got the old cable done as well, the ends of it stripped, cover stripped, so I can loop it over, and that will enable me to add on the new wire. So here we are with the wires looped onto each other and twisted around. I did wonder whether I needed to strip off the plastic to give the bare metal, but it seemed to work fine. And I just made a thorough job of taping over really securely to make sure it was okay when I pulled it through. So pulling and pushing, luckily both ends were close enough that I could push one end and pull the other, because just pulling isn't going to work, but pushing and pulling does, and that worked out quite well. So here's the new end. The join between the two ends just comes through. So we've got the new cable all the way through now, so I just have to pull the spare. That's good. Happy with that. So here's the new fitting, just waiting for the gasket to be attached and a couple of ring washers, and waiting to get screwed in place, which a little bit fiddly, but not too bad. And a short while later, here we are with the fitting in place, sturdily held there. And of course the next thing would be to check that it worked before I finish putting all the wires away, which were looking a little bit untidy. Not the most fantastic of jobs, but it'll do. It's holding, and now to test it out. Okay, success. We've got a port light working. Brilliant. Okay, a bit of tidying up to do with that cable, with a few cable ties, and job completed. Excellent Sunday's work. Job done. All finished, working, stowed away. Now we just have to put the chain and the anchor back in the chain locker. The Mexican flag has been flying. It's a very big flag, that one, so the wind has to be reasonably strong for it to fly as it is. And the only problem being that it's from the south direction, or southwest direction, which would not be very good if you wanted to sail south at the moment. But anyway, I feel as though that's a good job done. We've got the sun is about to set, and yeah, nice to have got that port light working. So it's sunset, and that's when the cruise ships tend to get underway. So this one is getting ready to go. The people on board spent most of the day in Ensenada, and now they're back on board and off they go.